When a man begins having intense thoughts about a woman, his behavior starts changing long before he ever admits it out loud. Human psychology reveals that attraction is rarely silent. It leaks through actions, body language, attention, and emotional reactions. Many women ignore these signals because they seem small at first, but the truth is that desire often hides inside ordinary behavior. A man may suddenly become more focused on you than before. He notices details other people miss. He remembers what you said days ago. He becomes deeply engaged in conversations that once felt casual. This happens because the mind naturally gives extra attention to whatever emotionally excites it. When a man begins having strong romantic or physical thoughts about a woman, one of the first things that changes is his level of attention. Attraction sharpens focus in a powerful way. Suddenly, he notices things about her that most people completely overlook. He remembers tiny details from conversations, recognizes small changes in her appearance, and pays close attention to her mood, energy, and reactions. This heightened awareness is not random. Human psychology shows that the brain naturally becomes more alert toward people it emotionally desires. In many cases, a man may not even realize how obvious his behavior has become because attraction often operates beneath conscious control. His mind starts prioritizing her presence without him intentionally deciding to do so. A man who is deeply attracted will often look for excuses to interact more frequently. He may suddenly become interested in conversations that once seemed unimportant. He asks more questions, laughs more at her jokes, and finds reasons to continue talking even after the conversation should naturally end. This happens because emotional attraction creates stimulation inside the brain. Her attention becomes rewarding to him. Every interaction feels exciting, even if nothing major is happening. Sometimes women mistake this for simple friendliness, but there is usually a clear difference between casual politeness and emotionally charged attention. When a man consistently seeks opportunities to connect, there is often a deeper emotional or physical motivation underneath his actions. His observation skills also become unusually sharp. He notices when she changes her hairstyle, wears a different color, sounds tired, or behaves slightly differently than normal. Many men who are not emotionally invested rarely pay attention to these details, but attraction changes perception. The brain begins collecting information because the person becomes emotionally important. Even the smallest things start carrying emotional meaning. He may remember a random comment she made weeks ago or bring up something she casually mentioned once in passing. To him, these details matter because she matters. Eye contact becomes another major signal. A man having strong thoughts about a woman will often look at her differently. His gaze lingers longer than usual. Sometimes he quickly looks away when caught staring because attraction creates nervousness as well as excitement. Other times he maintains deep eye contact because he feels emotionally pulled toward her. Studies in body language consistently show that prolonged eye contact is closely connected to emotional interest and desire. The eyes naturally reveal focus, and focus reveals emotional investment. This is why women often sense attraction before a single romantic word is ever spoken. Another thing that changes is responsiveness. A man who is strongly thinking about a woman becomes more emotionally available to her. He replies faster, notices her absence more quickly, and becomes unusually interested in maintaining communication. If she disappears for a while, he notices immediately. If she sounds upset, he becomes concerned. Her emotional state begins influencing his own mood because attraction creates emotional attachment. Even before love develops, desire often increases emotional sensitivity. This is why some men appear unusually attentive compared to how they behave with everyone else. Physical behavior also changes in subtle ways. He positions himself closer to her during conversations. His body naturally turns toward her. He may lean in slightly while she speaks because his mind is fully engaged. Attraction creates unconscious body language shifts that are difficult to fake consistently. A man interested in a woman often mirrors her movements without realizing it. If she smiles, he smiles. If she lowers her voice, he adjusts his tone too. Psychologists call this mirroring behavior, and it commonly appears when emotional connection or attraction is present. Attraction can also create protective behavior. A man who is strongly thinking about a woman may become more aware of how others treat her. He notices disrespect quickly. He offers help more often. He checks whether she is safe or comfortable. This protectiveness does not always mean love, but it often signals emotional investment beyond surface level attraction. When a man starts mentally prioritizing a woman, his instincts naturally shift toward attention, concern, and involvement in her well-being. One important thing women must understand is that attention itself carries meaning. People invest energy where emotional interest exists. When a man consistently gives focus, remembers details, seeks connection, and emotionally reacts to a woman's presence, it is rarely accidental. Desire changes behavior long before words ever reveal the truth. Body language often reveals hidden attraction long before words do. A man may try to control what he says, but controlling physical behavior is much harder because the body naturally responds to emotional desire. When a man begins having strong romantic or physical thoughts about a woman, his movements, posture, facial expressions, and overall energy start changing in subtle but noticeable ways. Many women overlook these signals because they seem ordinary on the surface, yet human psychology shows that attraction consistently influences body language patterns. The body reacts honestly even when the mind attempts to stay calm. One of the strongest indicators is eye behavior. A man who is deeply attracted tends to watch a woman carefully. His eyes naturally search for her in crowded places. He maintains eye contact longer than usual because his attention becomes emotionally locked onto her presence. Sometimes he quickly looks away when caught staring, especially if he feels nervous or uncertain. Other times he holds the gaze confidently because he wants to create emotional tension and connection. Eyes communicate emotional focus better than words. When a man constantly notices a woman visually, it usually means his thoughts are emotionally occupied by her. Facial expressions also become more animated. Attraction increases emotional excitement, which causes more smiling, raised eyebrows, and stronger reactions during conversation. A man interested in a woman often lights up when she enters the room. His expression changes immediately, even before he consciously realizes it. This reaction happens because the brain releases chemicals linked to pleasure and anticipation when someone emotionally desired appears nearby. Women often sense this instinctively because genuine attraction creates visible warmth in a person's face and energy. Posture changes dramatically as well. Men naturally try to appear stronger, taller, and more confident around women they desire. He may straighten his back, broaden his shoulders, or adjust his clothing more frequently when she is present. These behaviors are often subconscious attempts to appear more attractive and masculine. Even small grooming actions can reveal hidden attraction. He fixes his hair, adjusts his sleeves, touches his face, or checks his appearance more often because he becomes highly aware of how she perceives him. Another powerful sign is physical orientation. The body naturally points toward whatever interests the mind. If a man consistently turns his feet, shoulders, or torso toward a woman during conversations, it usually signals engagement and attraction. Even in group settings, his body tends to face her more directly. Psychologists often study this behavior because it reflects unconscious emotional focus. When someone's attention is deeply invested, the body physically aligns itself with the source of interest. Nervous behavior also increases around attraction. A man who is strongly thinking about a woman may suddenly become restless or awkward in ways that seem unusual. He might speak faster, stumble over words, laugh too much, or fidget with objects nearby. Attraction creates emotional pressure because he wants to impress her while simultaneously fearing rejection or embarrassment. This mixture of excitement and anxiety creates tension inside the body, and that tension leaks into physical behavior. Some men become quieter instead of louder, especially if they feel intimidated by the woman they desire. Others become overly energetic because nervousness pushes them to perform socially. Touch becomes another revealing clue. A man attracted to a woman often looks for small, socially acceptable reasons to create physical contact. It may begin with light touches on the arm during conversation, playful nudges, or brief contact while helping her with something. These actions are rarely random. Human beings naturally seek physical closeness when emotional or romantic attraction grows. However, respectful men usually test boundaries carefully rather than acting aggressively. The way he reacts after physical contact also matters. If he seems highly aware of the moment or watches her reaction closely, attraction is often involved. Mirroring behavior is another important psychological sign. A man emotionally focused on a woman often copies her body language unconsciously. If she leans forward, he leans forward. If she lowers her voice, he may lower his too. If she smiles, he mirrors the expression almost instantly. This behavior happens because human beings naturally imitate people they feel emotionally connected to. Mirroring creates subconscious bonding and emotional synchronization. Voice tone can even change under attraction. A man may speak softer, slower, or more deeply around a woman he strongly desires. His speech patterns shift because emotional attention affects nervous system responses. Sometimes he becomes more playful or teasing because humor feels safer than direct emotional vulnerability. Other times he speaks with unusual seriousness because he wants her full attention. The important thing is consistency. When multiple body language signs appear together repeatedly, they often reveal hidden attraction far more honestly than words ever could. When a man begins having strong romantic or physical thoughts about a woman, he often starts testing emotional and physical boundaries in subtle ways. These behaviors usually do not appear suddenly or aggressively in the beginning. Instead, they emerge through small actions, playful comments, deeper conversations, and gradual attempts to understand how much emotional access he has to her. Human attraction naturally creates curiosity. A man who is emotionally interested wants to know how close he can become, how comfortable she feels around him, and whether his attention is welcome or rejected. Many women misunderstand these moments because the signals are rarely direct at first, but psychology shows that attraction often grows through gradual emotional exploration. One common behavior is increased teasing or playful challenges. A man who is thinking about a woman in a romantic way may joke with her more, lightly tease her, or create playful tension during conversations. This is not always immaturity. Often it is a way of building emotional chemistry without exposing deeper feelings too quickly. Humor becomes a safe emotional bridge. Through teasing, he watches her reactions carefully. If she laughs, responds playfully, or continues engaging with him, he interprets that as emotional openness. If she pulls away or becomes uncomfortable, he usually adjusts his behavior immediately. This is one of the earliest forms of emotional boundary testing. Conversation topics also begin changing. A man strongly attracted to a woman slowly moves discussions into more personal territory. He asks questions about relationships, emotional experiences, fears, desires, or personal beliefs. He may bring up subjects connected to romance or intimacy in indirect ways just to observe how she responds. These conversations are rarely random. He is trying to understand her emotional availability and comfort level. Attraction pushes people to seek deeper emotional access because surface level interaction no longer feels satisfying. Another major sign appears through attention-seeking behavior. A man having intense thoughts about a woman often wants to stand out in her mind. He may try harder to impress her with stories, achievements, humor, confidence, or generosity. Sometimes he becomes unusually competitive around other men because attraction naturally increases the desire for validation and exclusivity. If another man gains her attention, he may subtly react through jealousy, silence, irritation, or increased effort to regain focus. These reactions happen because emotional desire